teams? In other words, when does this actually affect change? We saw a judge last week choose not to stop San Jose State from playing with a male player. So is it going to take everybody? Is it going to take the Colorado States and San Diego States and then on into the NCAA tournament as well? I'm wondering what you think is the pressure point that actually will get everyone to stand up and make a change.
I don't know what that pressure point is, but I just know that if there are teams and women who believe that this is not right, we should be heard.
Should be heard, and you're being heard now. We applaud.
No, this is crazy. This is crazy. You are a woman, Nug. Sandrea, you're a woman. I want your opinion. I'm recording. No, because I am very flabbergasted. I am troubled. I am concerned. I want to hear other people's opinion. I am watching the news just now, Fox News, and they were talking about, they were reporting on a story about a tournament that involves a transgender person participating or competing on a team.
Gotcha.
And a judge just ruled because the many apparently this is the story. A male changed his gender to female, and he plays she plays the transgender person plays on a team.
Wrestling or some shit?
It's an all female. It's a women. It's a college volleyball or something like college volleyball. It's college volleyball, but it's all women. It's all women, right? And however, you have this person who is now, was a male but now playing, a female playing on the team, and the other teams are saying they're not playing in protest, and they sued. And it went to the court, and the judge ruled that no, we agree, nothing is wrong. She should play. The other school, okay. What do you guys think? Do you think that transgender persons should, transgender persons should change their sex from male to female, should participate in women's sport?
No.
Okay, you're a man, so that's one. I want to hear your opinion on that. What about you?
Transgender should not play against opposite sex.
Okay, two persons. I agree.
Physically,
but I want to know why.
Than a female, just genetically, you ultimately stronger than a female, so that it kind of defeats a woman automatically. So.
Yeah.
I don't think that you should, just because you change from male to female doesn't genetically mean that physically, you're still a man. So I don't think that a man should play against a woman.
What about you? What do you you also disagree? Why?
Because that shit just not right.
It's just not right. That's it.
It's just not right.
Why? Okay.
Unfair.
It's unfair. It's not fair.
It's unfair. We just have a whole different type of stamina, fucking testosterone, and just a whole different setup than a female, bro.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I mean, both of you hit it on. I'm saying the same thing. First of all, they should create a sport for transgender persons, and they can compete against each other. That would make it okay.
It should be like a paralegic.
But we're not putting you into a
how they got that, like the paralegic.
Right.
They should have that shit.
You know what I mean? This is, absolutely ridiculous. It's like a tennis player, okay, and a runner who changed their sex from male to female and is now competing against other women, like a male runner. All of you know what? Why didn't I do that? I should have done that, and then I would become a superstar. I would have been one of the fastest women. I would get accolades, and I would probably be a multi-billionaire or something of the sort. But when you change your gender, you're
right
not
now,
necessarily.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what there are people who
changed and changed back. They're like, oh shit.
you know when, but
that? Yeah, I
there are
can do
people
that.
who are saying that when you change, transgender doesn't necessarily, they're not only changing their appearance to making it more of the sex they're changing into, but they also take medication to help
Hormones
alter
Hormonal
the hormones. So
medicine.
they also lose some of their strength. They lose some of their male dominance. What about people who argue like that? I don't know if it's been tested and proven.
But you shouldn't have to then.
Yeah.
Then you shouldn't. If you have to do that to decrease your strength, then you should not be doing that sport.
And the thing is, they're competing in a sport. What if one day I decided I want to miss my what they call it?
Yep.
My medication.
Mm-hmm.
What if one day I want to miss it? Okay, because I know I'm competing. Then all my hormones, I get back all my hormones, yes? Whatever. And they're playing, and then I can go back on it 10 days later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I want to. Like, this is absolutely...
Unpredictable.
Yes, this is ridiculous. I mean...
That's what they wanted to be. They want that shit to be just so...
I mean, I think it's going to go to the Supreme Court, and they're going to win. I'm telling you that. The school who filed the lawsuit, they should take it all the way to the Supreme Court, because as much as I'm for diversity, equity, and inclusion, that has nothing to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion. If anything, it has everything to do with unfairness. Okay, it is unfair for persons who were male and now are female. I mean, should compete now with other women, because first of all, they may lose their appearance, but they still have the strength and the ability. Okay, and because if they take medication to do so, it's not permanent. No one has discovered any permanent fix. And first of all, if I change my sex from male to female, why would I want to take hormones to decrease my strength and prowess? Okay, first of all, I would be a superwoman. I would rather do that. You can have... Okay, so that's ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Yo, that's crazy. I can't believe this.
You for making your voice heard, but also putting action behind your words. Not without sacrifice. We all know that. Many of these girls, as you mentioned, won't move on in the Mountain West tournament, perhaps won't advance to the NCAA tournament. So they've made a real sacrifice. I think the question is how much sacrifice will be needed in order to effectuate change. Sia, we appreciate what you're doing. Last word. I see you had one more thing. Last word to you.
I just wish the best of luck to the women who are competing today. And I hope everyone sees that this is something that's not just going to be put to the side. And I encourage girls and women who are facing this discrimination to use their voice and speak out, because that's the only way people are going to become aware of this.
I see it.
We talk about discrimination. We are listening to Fox News. They're talking about the SJCU University. They are deciding to forfeit their lead in the volleyball tournament. If you guys don't know what's going on within women's volleyball, turmoil in women's volleyball, because of a particular university who decide to have or to include on their team a man who is transgender, who changed their sex or their gender to female, but is now allowed to play in women's volleyball. Of course, I actually did interview. We actually did a quick interview with about 2 or 3 or 4 people, asking in Philadelphia their view. People's view. What are people's view? What is the view on the street? What is the public? What do people think generally about men who changed their gender and are now playing in women's sport? And of course, part of the I have a problem with that. The issue is, we talk about discrimination. The woman just spoke to on Fox News, was being interviewed on Fox. She's a university athlete who played on the volleyball team, and she talked about discrimination discrimination of women, but yet still people may feel that this man that is playing in women's sport as a female, because they change their gender, is being discriminated against. What about diversity, equity, and inclusion? But this is it. There is diversity, equity, and inclusion, but we cannot push it to nonsense. Okay, it cannot be nonsensical. Now, the problem is that it is a discrimination to have a man playing in a woman's sport, a weaker sex sport, okay, and still keeping all his male chromosomes and his power and his prowess. That puts him at an advantage over the other woman. Okay, and I talk about that and actually I discussed this with 3 persons on this podcast. That I have a real problem with that. You would have to, if you want to encourage and promote diversity, equity, and inclusion, you would have to create a sport for transgender men who are now playing as women, and then have a transgender women basketball or football or volleyball team. That is what needs to happen. And to have a judge make a decision is absolutely ridiculous. What is going on in our country? What is with rationality? How can a judge side with a university to say that they have the right to keep a man on their women's volleyball team, a man, and all they have on their women's volleyball team is people who were born females, and then this one man who is now a woman, he still has all the prowess of being a man, and he may take medication to keep his testosterone in check, but we don't know when he's not taking the medication, he or she's not taking the medication. Okay, this is a problem. But that's coming up. Listen, I actually interviewed 3 persons. I spoke with a young woman and a young man, and the young people also, and it's unanimous. All the persons that we've interviewed are saying that they have a problem with transgender women who were men who are now women and playing in athletic sports, in competitive sports. That's a problem. I'm Renaldo McKenzie. This is the Neoliberal.